Ever feel like your brain just won't quit? Like it's constantly buzzing with thoughts, worries, to-dos, that catchy song you heard on the radio? It's exhausting, right?
It really is. Especially these days when everything moves so fast.
Exactly. Well, get ready to dive into a technique that might just be the off switch your brain's been begging for: cognitive shuffling.
And the best part is, it's not just some new agey thing, it's rooted in actual
Oh,
science.
yeah, we're talking cognitive load theory, positive psychology, the real deal. So, what exactly is cognitive shuffling?
Basically, it's like imagine your working memory, the part that holds all that info you're actively using.
It's like a super messy desk.
Right. Papers everywhere, coffee mugs, that pen you can never find. Not a lot of room to actually get anything done. Cognitive shuffling is like tidying up that desk so you got the space to focus on what's important.
Okay, so less mental clutter, more mental clarity. I like it. And this all ties back to the idea that our brains can only handle so much at once, right? Like there's a limit to how much we can process.
Exactly. That's cognitive load in a nutshell. Think of it like a muscle that gets tired if you overwork it.
And just like that workout buddy who pushes you too hard, sometimes our own thoughts and emotions can really wear our brains out. Like when you're trying to focus on work, but you're also stressing about a million other things, impossible.
It is tough. And that's where things get really interesting because those negative emotions, your stress, your anxiety,
Hmm.
they actually hijack your cognitive resources.
Really, it's like they're little thieves stealing away our brain power.
Precisely.
Yeah.
They take up valuable space in your mental bandwidth, leaving less room for, well, everything else.
So it's like trying to, I don't know, meditate in the middle of Times Square, not exactly a recipe for a tranquil mind.
A perfect analogy. And that's what cognitive shuffling steps in. It's all about giving your brain a break, a mental palate cleanser, if you will.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does it work? What do you actually DO?
There are actually two main techniques, word-based and imagery-based.
Ooh, options. I like it. Let's start with word base. What's the deal there?
All right, so picture this. You pick a word, any word, let's say sunshine.
Sunshine, got it.
Now, for each letter in sunshine, you think of another word that starts with that letter. So S could be sand, U could be umbrella, and so on.
Huh, interesting. It's like a mental puzzle, but with words. I can see how that would shift your focus.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
redirects those mental resources away from the anxieties and onto something more, well, neutral. Now, imagery-based shuffling, that's a whole other ballgame.
Get me with it. I'm ready for a methyl vacation.
That's the spirit. With this one, you're basically creating a mini escape route for your brain. Close your eyes and imagine yourself somewhere peaceful and calming.
Like a beach with a hammock and one of those drinks with a little umbrella.
Precisely. But the key here is to engage all your senses. Don't just see the beach, smell the salt air, feel the warm sand between your toes, hear the waves gently lapping at the shore.
Oh, I like where this is going. It's like tricking your brain into thinking you're actually there, enjoying a little slice of paradise.
You got it. And what's even cooler is some people find combining both techniques works best.
So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure for your mind. Find what works for you, New Bridgman.
Exactly. Now, before we get too comfortable on our mental beaches, we should probably address the elephant in the room. Or maybe that's the stress monster under the bed.
Right, we talked about all these amazing potential benefits, but what does the research actually say about all of this?
Well, to be totally honest, it's still early days.
So, not quite ready to call it a cure-all just yet.
Not quite. A lot of the research so far has been on a smaller scale.
Smaller groups, shorter studies, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so we definitely need more research with larger, more diverse groups of people to really see how those benefits hold up over time.
Makes sense. It's like we always say, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Exactly. But even though the jury's still out on some of the long-term effects, I think the initial findings are promising enough that it's worth exploring.
It's like, what do you have to lose? Right. It's not like we're talking about some complicated, expensive treatment here.
Exactly. It's free, it's accessible, and you can do it anytime, anywhere. It's all about finding what works for you.
I love that. So for someone listening who's thinking, all right, you've convinced me, I'm ready to give this cognitive shuffling thing a try, where should they even begin?
I always say start with just a few minutes each day and see how you feel.
Ease your brain into it.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try both the word-based day and Dawe, the imagery-based techniques.
Or even get wild and combine them.
Exactly. The most important thing is to find what helps you create that little bit of mental breathing room, that sense of calm and focus.
Because ultimately, that's what it's all about, right? Taking control of our mental landscape so we can show up as our best selves.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, I want to give a huge thank you to you and a huge thank you to all of you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of cognitive shuffling. We'll catch you next time, same place, for another deep dive. Until then, stay curious, keep those brains buzzing, in a good way, of course,
Right.
and we'll see you soon.